Hey guys, welcome to VGS Astro. Today I'm going to be talking about the 6th house in Vedic astrology. And someone once raised a question asking if there's anything positive about the 6th house. And he told me that the 6th house is undoubtedly one of the most uninspiring houses in Vedic astrology because it represents diseases, enemies, financial obligations, court cases, litigation, and also service. And maybe one of the positive things about the 6th house uh, would have to be pets or small domestic animals. And he also mentioned that when he was learning astrology, he was absolutely shocked to see major planets placed in the 6th house for himself, like Sun, Moon, and Jupiter. And universe was playing a cruel joke on him because nobody wants to kneel down and serve other people and give up on their dreams just because planets in the 6th house are aspecting the 12th house. Now, I do understand that 6th house is a difficult house, but it doesn't mean that you should be expecting negative results throughout your life because of planets in the 6th house. And I was thinking I should allay some of those fears connected to the 6th house and also help explore some of the facets of the 6th house which could bring more clarity and optimism where there is none. And it's quite common to see people with planets in the 6th to be a bit pessimistic, especially when they have Moon in the 6th or Mercury in the 6th or any planet that is in debilitation or losing in a planetary war in the 6th, or being afflicted by Rahu or Ketu in the 6th house, or even eclipsed or combust by the sun. But that's okay because I'm doing this video to see how we can improve our situation with planets in the 6th house. But before that, let's look at the Karaka of the 6th house. The first Karaka of the 6th house is none other than Saturn, because Saturn is the taskmaster in the planetary cabinet, and he is also the ruler of the masses. He is the ruler of servants in one's chart. He rules over domestic help. And Saturn also represents judges, advocates, doctors. So Saturn becomes a powerful Karaka for the 6th house. Saturn also becomes a Karaka for litigation as well as chronic ailments in life. That is the negative side. The positive side of Saturn in the 6th is discipline to achieve good health, becoming a judge or a litigator, or oneself becoming a doctor who understands diseases better and also makes a living out of treating diseases. And the next Karaka is, of course, Mercury, because Mercury rules the 6th house in the natural zodiac order. So any disease or complication of the nervous system is specifically attributed to Mercury. But regardless of the nervous system disorder, any disease for that matter, look at where Mercury is in the birth chart, or if the person is going through Mercury Dasha or Bhukti, or even transits that are in difficult signs or planets, in houses. The next Karaka of the 6th house is, of course, Mars, because overcoming challenges, difficult situations, competition, daily work that involves heavy machinery or manual work can all be seen from Mars. So Mars is undoubtedly an important Karaka of the 6th house, along with Saturn and Mercury. Now, let's assume that you are a Virgo ascendant and you have no planets in the 6th house, right? What if the 6th house is empty? This is a good situation, no doubt, but then wherever the 6th lord goes, that house will face challenging situations. If the 6th lord goes to the 9th, then father can fall ill. If the 6th lord goes to the 4th house, then mother can face chronic illness, and so on and so forth. But even otherwise, if you have planets in the 11th house, although this may augur well for your hopes and dreams and wishes coming true, also for your friend circle, this may not be so good for the 6th house because 11th house is the sixth from the sixth house, which is the Bhavat Bhavam of the sixth. So if you have planets like, let's say, Saturn in the sixth house, it is a generally accepted principle that malefics in the sixth cause destruction of the enemies, which is in line with the principle that malefics placed in any houses, in any of the houses, causes destruction of the house that it is placed in. However, if there is, per se, Jupiter in the 11th house, Jupiter here could mean that there is growth and expansion of the 11th house matters. You gain money, you gain success, fame, good status, good circle of friends. But then it also means it increases your chance of seeing your enemies grow in leaps and bounds by virtue of Jupiter occupying the 11th house, because enemies will become more prosperous and grow doubly strong. But who really is going to win in such a situation? Of course, the answer is not so straightforward, because these principles cannot always be generalized. So what we need to do is to see how these effects are going to take place for different individuals. Now, to explain why the answers are not straightforward, I'm going to take the example of Leo Ascendant, and let's say you have Saturn in the sixth house. Now, being the sixth lord in the sixth house, the general principle is that this planet is supposed to protect the significations of the sixth house. However, the other principle is that malefics in the sixth house is supposed to destroy that bhava. So do you think Saturn here will cause destruction of the enemies, litigation, diseases, being a malefic, or do you think it will protect the significations of the sixth house? You see where this is going? I hope we are on the same page. Now let's also change planets. Let's say for a Leo ascendant we have Mars in the sixth house. So here Mars is in its exaltation sign, Capricorn, even though it is a malefic. Now do you think it's going to harm the sixth house of enemies, competitors, or tough diseases, or is it going to strengthen the enemies? To answer this question, we need to look at the sixth lord and also the ascendant lord. Now, for the sake of simplicity and clarity, let's choose Aries as the ascendant, and let's say we have Saturn in the sixth house of Virgo. So here, Saturn, although is a malefic planet, there's every chance of favoring the enemy because Saturn is a friend of the sixth lord, Mercury. So it's naturally inclined to favor Mercury over the ascendant lord Mars. Now, let's take the example of Aries ascendant, and let's say we have Mars in the Virgo signs. So here, Mars knocks out its enemies because it is inimical to the sixth lord Mercury. However, if we have Saturn in this house, it's going to make the enemies stronger and support the enemies, as Saturn is friendly towards the sixth lord and opposes the Lagna lord or the ascendant lord. So malefics in the sixth definitely make the native fight, but whether they support the native to win the battle or otherwise depends on the ascendant themselves. Now let's take the example of Libra ascendants, and let's put Saturn in the sixth house. Now for Libra natives, Saturn is friendly towards the ascendant lord, whereas it's not so friendly towards the sixth lord, which is Jupiter. So here Saturn is able to defeat the enemy or the disease or litigation or court cases, because Saturn obviously moves way too slow. Speaking of which, Libra natives are now in the process of seeing a Saturn transit into their sixth house as I post this video. So this is definitely beneficial for them, even in countering long-standing chronic diseases. On the contrary, if you have, let's say, Jupiter in the sixth house, Jupiter will protect the sixth house because it owns that house and it's going to protect its own interest. Also because Jupiter is inimical to the ascendant lord. So here Jupiter is going to make the enemies or diseases stronger. However, being a natural benefic, Jupiter can help in mitigating some of the flaws for Libra natives. If you have Mars there in the sixth house, it is also favorable to the sixth lord because Mars is going to favor sixth lord Jupiter because it is a friend of Jupiter, and it is inimical to the ascendant lord Venus. So therefore, Mars is going to make your enemy stronger, and that's not going to be a good thing for Libra natives. Now, moving on, let's look at Scorpio ascendant. Let's say we have Saturn in the sixth house for a Scorpio ascendant. And now we can see that Saturn is in a place where it can neither favor the ascendant lord nor can it really favor the sixth lord of its enemies, though it is in opposition of Mars. And this is a kind of a placement where there is a stalemate of a situation. So the individual, usually if he runs into litigation or even before he runs into a litigation, there could be an out of court settlement and things can work out amicably. Same case with Taurus ascendant, because Taurus is also one of those ascendants where the sixth lord is the same as the ascendant lord, which is in this case Venus. So if we have like a planet like Sun in the sixth house, Sun can not favor the sixth lord, nor can it favor the ascendant lord, and makes it weak and debilitated in the Libra sign. Now let's understand what happens when the Lagna lord goes into the sixth house. And for this, let's assume the ascendant to be Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and let's say Mercury goes to the sixth house in Scorpio. So what happens here is that this could give new enemies every so often, and the battles will keep coming as time progresses. However, Lagna Lord in the sixth will always have the effect of Sun in the sixth house. So it kind of burns the sixth house of enemies, benefiting the native. Now, let's explore some more complex scenarios. For this, I'm going to consider Leo ascendant. So here, let's say Saturn is in the sixth house and Jupiter goes to the seventh. So although Saturn is strong in the sixth, Jupiter in the seventh, aspecting the Lagna makes the Lagna Lord strong and therefore is able to counter the enemies. The stronger the Lagna is, the easier the battle becomes. Now let's change the position of Jupiter. So here, let's say Jupiter goes to the 12th house. 12th is the opposite of the 6th house, and it is the house of correction and repairs, which is why people, when afflicted due to disease, who go to hospitals are indicated by the 12th house. Prisons are also seen from the 12th, where corrective punitive action is taken to reform the individual to conform to societal norms. So here Jupiter becomes beneficial for Leo natives to help them recover from debt or win a court case or face any difficult situation in life. Now let's change ascendants. Let's take the example of Capricorn ascendant. And let's say that the sixth lord Mercury is placed in the Lagna and Jupiter is in the sixth house. So this is a situation where the sixth lord is in the Lagna, which can bring significant harm to the individual, but then Jupiter is inimical to the sixth lord and neutral to the ascendant lord, making it a favorable situation for the ascendant to win battles. Okay, the next example, we have sixth lord in the ascendant, but we also have Sun, which is the Lagna lord, aspecting its own house, aspecting its first house. This is very good for the Lagna, except for the fact that it is afflicted by Ketu, and therefore the ascendant lord becomes a lot weaker to defend itself in this situation. If not for Ketu, ascendant can gain great strength, who could topple this opponent, which is the sixth lord Saturn. So the things that we need to check in any situation is the strength of the planet, also the strength of the ascendant lord versus the strength of the sixth lord, which can be seen from the planetary shadbala. And then we also have to consider the bhavabala itself to see uh, which of the two houses are powerful to decide who the victor is going to be. So what are the remedies when the sixth lord is strong in your chart, or the planets in the sixth house are favoring the sixth house itself over the ascendant? And for the sake of simplicity, let's circle back to Aries ascendant. Okay, so here the first remedy would be to appease the planets in the sixth house, appease the sixth lord, and also strengthen your ascendant lord. Okay, these are very simple remedies. You just have to look at the planets that are in the sixth to appease the sixth lord and also to strengthen the ascendant lord. The next remedy would be to strengthen planets in the 12th house, if you have any. If you don't have any planets, you could appease your 12th house lord or appease Jupiter, because Jupiter is the owner of the 12th house in the natural zodiac order. So remember what I said, 12th is the house of repairs. So appeasing your 12th lord can in fact help you get a healing touch whenever the planet transits over your natal birth chart in the house that it is placed in. The other karaka for coming out of difficult situation, especially if you have loan sharks behind you to recover that money due to debt or financial obligation, then appeasing Venus would be helpful, because Venus gets exalted in the natural 12th house, and appeasing Venus will give its fruit as it transits over your natal 6th house. Praying to goddess Lakshmi can become one of the best remedies in this situation. Alright, I'm gonna stop here because I don't want this to become an overkill. I would love to do a part 2 for this video, but that is something in the future, so stay tuned for updates on all things astrology. Also, if you need a paid consultation, do drop an email. Until then, it's me, VGS, signing off. I will see you guys again with another new video very soon.